Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Dinda Famela from TBI 5C. In this video, I'm going to explain about the journal that I have been investigating. So, the title of the journal is The Evaluation of English Textbook for Grade 7 of Junior High School in Indonesia. And the author's name is Sri Handayani. For the research and question, or to what extent does the English textbook for the 7th grade of junior high school entitled When English Rings a Bell Revised Edition fulfill the criteria of a good textbook based on related theories in terms of first, practical consideration, second one is layout and designs, and the next one is activities, skills, language type, also subject and content. And theories that employed in this journal first from Cunningsworth and Alice. So they state that textbook evaluation helps teachers move beyond impressionistic assessment, and it helps them to acquire useful, accurate system and contextual insight into the overall nature of textbook material. And they also have put forward 3 different types of material evaluation. The first one is predictive or pre-use evaluation. The next one is in-use evaluation. And the last one is retrospective or past-use evaluation. And McDonough and Shaw in 2003 have distinguished between 2 types of material evaluation. For the first one is the internal evaluation. It addresses the issue related to the presentation of content and skills, and the grading and sequencing of the material, as well as the compatibility of tasks and exercises with learners' needs. And the next one is the external evaluation. It takes into account the criteria such as the context in which the material are to be used, and the presentation and organization of language into teachable units, and the author's perspectives on language and methodology. And Little John also claims that material analysis and evaluation enable us to see inside the materials and to take more control over their design and use. And Sheldon believes that we need to evaluate textbook for 2 reasons. First, the evaluation will help the teacher or program developer in making decisions on selecting the appropriate textbook. And the next one is evaluation of advantages and disadvantages of a textbook will familiarize with teacher with its probable weakness and strength. And Williams, Sheldon, Browns, and Cunningsworth, they agree that evaluation checklists should have some criteria pertaining to the physical characteristic of textbook, such as layout, organizational, and logistic characteristic. And the criteria used in this evaluation checklist, this journal, are adapted from Leeds teachers, and it covers practical considerations, layout and design, activities, skills, language type, and also subject and content. And for the result and discussion, so according to the table that exists in the journal, it was found that evaluator first, second, and third agree that the price of textbook is reasonable since this textbook is given for free from the government to students to every student and teacher who implement curriculum 2013. And in terms of its accessibility, all evaluators agree that this textbook is easy to be accessed. And also the evaluators uh, didn't agree for the terms of overview of the textbook. Actually, there is an overview in this textbook, but it is too general. Like it doesn't meet the criteria of a good textbook, which should include a detailed overview of function, structures, and vocabulary that will be taught in each unit. And for the next category is organization of textbook. So all evaluators agree that this textbook is organized effectively since chapters and subchapters of this textbook are arranged systematically. And in terms of list of vocabulary or glossary, the first and the third evaluators agree, but the second one didn't agree. Indeed, there are a list of vocabulary and glossary in it, but they aren't adequate enough actually. And there are also very limited text inserted in the book, and various kinds of textbook are able to enrich the students' vocabulary. And for the next part is review section and exercises. I mean, and different from the second evaluators and the third evaluators. The first evaluator disagree. Indeed, this textbook provides section and exercises. I mean, review section and exercises. But review section as the sources of input are very limited, so the teacher should find other sources to enrich the review section. But this textbook are include a vary exercises like individually, pair work, and group exercises. And actually, the exercises are set in a systematic arrangement, starting from the word moving to simple, to simple sentences, and finally coming to a text. And in terms of evaluation quizzes or testing, the first and the second evaluators assume that they are adequate evaluation quizzes or testing suggestion included in this textbook, but the third evaluator disagree and state that it wasn't adequate because, since teachers should find or make other evaluation quizzes or testing by themselves. And the next category is teacher's book. So all evaluators agree that the teacher's book contains guidance about how the textbook can be used to utmost advantage, and it covers the lesson plan that can be adapted by teacher to use this textbook, and also provide some supplementary materials. And the last part is the objective of the textbook. Basically, all evaluators assume that the material objectives are apparent and clear to both of the teacher and the student. And this textbook provides objectives in each chapter. The objectives are appropriate to the activities. All evaluators assume that this textbook provides a balanced activities, like there is an even distribution of read versus control exercises and tasks that focus on both fluent and accurate prediction. And evaluators also agree that the activities in this textbook encourage sufficient, communicative, and meaningful practice. And the first, the second, and the third evaluator agree that this textbook include and focus on skills that students need to practice. And they also assume that this textbook provide an appropriate balance of the four language skills, such as speaking, listening, reading, and writing. And this textbook pays attention to sub-skill like listening for the G's, note taking, skimming, and etc. But all evaluators disagree in terms of a pronunciation. Also, all evaluators disagree in terms of language authenticity. It means that they didn't assume that the language used in this textbook are authentic, like real life English. So this textbook only contains the, what, like a very Indonesia, and it contains what Indonesia would normally find in daily life. But actually it is good for a, character building and nationalism of the students, but the student will uh will feel like culture shock, and because they didn't learn about cross culture, so they will experience cross culture. And for the conclusion from the textbook evaluator's point, and for the conclusion, so from the textbook evaluator's point of view, in terms of practical consideration, this textbook fits the criteria of a good textbook because it has reasonable price, easy accessible, a recent publication, and the author's view refers to the blurb on the back of the textbook are similar with the evaluator's own language and methodology. And for the overview in each chapter, this textbook is too general. The layout and designs are adequate. And for the picture used are less interesting since all the pictures are monotone drawings and there are no photos at all. And this textbook actually pretty organized effectively and glossary, and the review section as the sources of input are very limited. And you know, but there are not adequate list of vocabulary and glossary. So the review section as the sources of input are very limited, so teachers should find other sources to enrich this review section. And yeah, the exercises in this textbook are vary, and they are in systematic arrangement, starting from the word, moving to simple sentences, and finally coming to a text. And there are evaluation quizzes or testing suggestions included in this textbook, but they aren't adequate enough. And in terms of activities, this textbook provides a balanced activities. For skills, this textbook includes and focuses on the skills that students need to practice, like the four skills like speaking, reading, writing, and listening. And in terms of language types, this textbook doesn't provide authentic real-life English. In this, so basically, in this book is very Indonesian. And yeah, this is the references. So maybe that's all for me. Sorry if there's any mistakes. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.